Palestinian Prime Minister Mohammed Shtayyeh has warned that Israeli sanctions on the Palestinian Authority will promptly lead to its collapse. Speaking to Israeli daily newspaper Haaretz, Shtayyeh was referring to the punitive measures Israel imposed on the PA in response to their request for an advisory opinion from The Hague on Israel's actions in the West Bank, as well as Israel's decision to continue the freeze on taxes equal to the amounts the PA pays to support prisoners convicted by Israel of terrorism. Shtayyeh called the punitive measure another nail in the Palestinian Authority's coffin and called on immediate intervention from the U.S. and Arab countries. Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich on Sunday signed a decree to block close to $40 million in tax revenue from the Palestinian Authority and redirect it to Israeli families of terror victims. Smotrich has hailed a years-long campaign to offset the PA's regular payments to terror convicts and to families of dead Palestinian attackers, which Israel and other critics say offer a direct incentive for terror. Joining me in studio to get a better understanding of the situation is our Middle East correspondent, Ariel Osseran. Hi, Ariel. I want you to break down for our viewers, firstly, the financial aid that the PA receives from the international community and the system of taxes imposed by Israel.
Right. So given that the Palestinian Authority doesn't have many sources of income, it relies heavily on foreign aid, mainly from the international community, the U.S., the EU, some Arab states. But there is also some coordination regarding different tax revenues and how Israel, that it takes tax revenues from Israelis, gives it to the PA. It's part of the regular financial construction there. But a recent law that was passed in Israel that allows to offset payments that are later on the PA hands them to families of Palestinians who were engaged in terror activity and are sitting in Israeli prisons. So there's a law that allows governments to offset those funds. Until now, the previous government delayed this implementation, given also calls from the U.S. that implementing it would further exacerbate the economic situation of the PA. This current government decided to take a different approach and has decided to offset, as you described, $40 million from these tax revenues that Israel collects, usually hands it over to the PA. Now they're handing it over to families of terror victims. And I think, if we look at the statement from the U.S. State Department, the spokesperson Ned Price calling the sanctions imposed on the PA over the weekend, calling them a unilateral step, a dangerous unilateral step. I think this is the first of those steps that could that are causing tension between Jerusalem and Washington, the Biden administration tension that we didn't really see in the previous in the relations between the previous government and the Biden administration. And I think this is just the appetizer, if you will.
And could we really see the collapse of the PA as a result of this?
Look, this is something that's been talked about for years. It's not going in the direction of surviving, pretty much. I mean, if we're looking at the current trajectory, it is of some form of collapse. Who knows, however, when that will be and what that will mean. I mean, some are describing the current situation as an effective collapse, that it's not functioning. And so at the end of the day, we need to look at what the Palestinian leaders are saying and what is the situation on the ground. The situation on the ground is not yet of chaos, anarchy. However, there are many problems, specifically the security cooperation, coordination, a lot of security operations that need to be conducted by the PA security forces are not happening. So Israel's doing it. So some could say that even that situation shows that the effective control of the PA is not really existent. But this, let's put it this way, this does not help the economic situation of the Palestinian Authority.
And Ariel, before I let you go, I want to hear what Smotrich has to say is behind this move.
Well, this is a move that he believes, he's been calling for similar moves for years. This is just another step in the right direction. And given that Smotrich has also received under his authority the civil administration, which is the body that manages the day-to-day life of not only Jews in the West Bank, but also of Palestinians, I think this is going to be just another one of those steps that are causing tensions right now as this new government is just kicking off.